was once a man who left his home long ago. This man found himself in a foreign land, came to have the local drinks, built himself a distillery, and opened up a business.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
The man was praised for his distillery, and he made the liquor of the land of his birth. But it was just too fancy, and it wasn't like any of the drinks to be found in his homeland. Its taste was sweet and incredibly painful.
Damn bots. Present company excluded, of course. The final episode of Mahoromatic is Nagiana, and I was asked to explain the reason for that title. But before we get into that, I need to explain what I've come to understand is called a Gainax ending, most notorious with Neon Genesis Evangelion, because of the weird way it ended, which you might say, Evangelion? Weird? No! How could that be? They hide it so well! So the thing to understand about this episode is that it's not really a finale so much as it is an epilogue. Nagiana means wild geese, but not in Japanese, in Gaelic. The wild geese were mercenaries, and in their honor, Richard Hennessy, one of them who was exiled to France from his native Ireland because of his political beliefs, well, he used the money from his military service to start a distillery. And today, the Nagiana is an exclusive Japanese whiskey import. The show describes the whiskey as sweet and very melancholy. The dub you just heard said it was very painful. We'll see how this works out later. The titles are replaced for this episode to show the climax of episode 13, after which we see Saguru collect the bauble while narrating why he was leaving his life behind now. He has had to endure losing first one parent and then the other. Mahoro's fall compounded that, because she lifted him back up, only to then drop him once again, to smash back to earth with no one to pick him up again. Like Hennessy, he left his home and didn't look back, probably afraid to spot Miss Shikijo stalking him. This is now 20 years in the future, after peace was declared between Saint and humanity, since management and Vesper are both gone. Humans and Saint have a number of colony worlds now, and it's on one of them where Saguru finds himself. In a bar, a traveling salesman is meeting with a man who looks very much like the mustache scientist of management, who wants something transported, himself, back to Earth. He talks about a human who is clearly Saguru, doing the work normally assigned to combat androids of hunting down former members of management. Work so dangerous that he's got tons of cybernetics now in order to fix all the damage. Which is helpful because the management guy leaps out the window and makes a run for it at unnatural speeds. But Saguru gives him the old what for, and turns out he's a combat android, and Saguru has a beef with them.
What are you?
Yeah, he hides it well, but still. He says he can't stand how full of life their faces look. Brings up bad memories. And speaking of bad memories...
No way! I don't want to go back to the stupid hotel. We came all the way out here to the edge of the universe. So how come there aren't any souvenirs that shout space or SF or something like that? You know, like t-shirts or keychains?
Yes, it's the one and only. Busy stuffing an underage boy into her breasts. It's like the past 20 years never happened. In fact, to prove it, we get one last image of her big bare titties. Time may move for others, but she is as eternal as a statue. Yes, indeed. And she puts the statue in statutory rape. So with her appearance out of the way, we see Ryuga is on the station, speaking with Lisha about how Minawa is doing well. All grown up now. And then there's Sarah.
Guess I've learned how to feel jealousy just like everyone else.
Kill me. Well, obviously, the answer to sad feelings should be obvious.
Looking at you laughing like this, it makes me start to wonder. It seems to me that perhaps Earthlings and Saint are completely identical in most ways.
I'm sorry, could you stop that annoying chatter? It's distracting me from checking out your boobs. Well, as you can imagine, we need to check out these goods in order to understand why it would convince a man to give up a promising opportunity with management to get a chance to ride that booty. Saguru's grandfather rescued her, and they wound up getting hooked up. Looks like he didn't cheat on Grandma. She just had to go back to being an enigmatic alien sky princess. That breaks up more marriages in Japan than you'd think. But there's one thing that they're not aware of, that the traveling salesman has just stabbed Saguru through the back with a lightsaber. Seems there's a big bounty on Saguru's head, and this guy wants to collect. But he doesn't know how the sword works. It's a high-tech model. It's not the old-fashioned kind whose previous technical expertise was don't hit yourself with the sharp part. So Saguru kills him and discovers he was an android.
Damn it, this really pisses me off. I bet you escaped from a management research site.
That is the reaction of a man who's on vacation and had someone just steal his rental car. Well, jumping around in a fit of pique probably hasn't done him any favors, and the doctors won't open for business for a while around here. If you're going to get stabbed, have the courtesy to do it during business hours. Meanwhile, Alicia is talking to Matthew, who has the form of Mahoro. They're both naked. When I did the Firefly episode Trash, I didn't know I was picking a theme for the week. Saint is heading off again to look for more life like humanity, and those who are going must leave everything behind. Alicia has one tie to humanity, though, and that's Saguru, who still has the bauble from that breach. Oh, that's sweet.
What kind of good luck charm is that?
This isn't a good luck charm. I just keep it so I won't forget somebody who betrayed me.
Or not. In a little Easter egg, the guy talking about needing to let go of women from your past, well, we eventually see a picture propped up that has him and the girl that we had seen back at Saguru's school, the last horribly nervous girl who gave Ryuga some chocolates. But back to Matthew. Matthew is a hive mind, and it seems that upon her destruction, Mahoro was incorporated into the hive. But now it seems that Mahoro has introduced something into Matthew, which she calls nostalgia. Nostalgia was discussed in a wonderful scene in Mad Men, saying that in Greek it meant the ache of an old wound, which accurately describes what we think of. Nostalgia, psychologists say, helps our identity. We recall a time then and compare it to now because it's selective. You're looking at the good times then, forgetting or downplaying the bad that was around them, which is why nostalgia feels so good. But the reason for the ache that can come with it is that linking the identity is a reminder that this is who you were, and who you are now is a different person. When you revisit that time in your memory, that's all it ever will be. The little voice in your head that tells you, this time here, now, it will never come again. The guy serving Saguru drinks talks about that time with Saguru, describing this period as, it was like we were standing in the springtime sun all year round. And the man says that you have to hold on to the springtime sun. What many people don't know is that nostalgia actually originally referred to homesickness when the word emerged in the 17th century. They said that it was so potent it killed the Swiss who ventured too far from their native land. Like a mercenary, exiled from Ireland, who can make a whiskey like back home, but can never actually return to it. The past is another country with closed borders. And so a whiskey is made that gives his ache a form, because it is sweet and melancholy. What is Nagiana? It's the joy of long ago that you can't relive, only remember. Trying to get it back again? It's just a wild goose chase. Well, the sensation of nostalgia causes Matthew to make a decision. The emotion serves no purpose on a one-way journey, and Saguru is so very alone. And so Matthew will remove a portion of herself to be with Saguru, giving form once again to Mahoro, who has no idea that it's 20 years in the future and on a colony world. Not at first, anyway. It takes a little while for her to realize the person she's asking to help her find Saguru is in fact him. Likewise, it takes a little while for the cynical man to accept that what he's seeing is real, but as he does, he sheds years until soon he's just a boy again inside. As she apologizes for leaving him, but all that matters to him is that she is back again. The ending is ambiguous. Is he dying and Matthew is putting this all in his head? Would Matthew have the power to manifest Mahoro like that? I think that this isn't the end. That even though he's seriously wounded, the final image is of him as a grown man, standing tall, and Mahoro holding him with clear adoration. He can survive the ache of the fresh wound, because the ache of the old wound has at last been healed.
All hail the Overlord! All hail the Overlord!
If I go and get late, it'll be morning in no time, and if I'm still alive then, I'll go see a doctor.
Saguru. Dirty thoughts are bad, don't you know that?